Hello, all my dear friends. My name is Ajay Gulati. I am an income tax officer. Students, today I will be teaching you puzzles, conclusion, statement, argument, these sort of things. Puzzles will be really a very interesting topic. You will enjoy it very much. So, before starting, students, I know your exam is very close. This is a very crucial amount of time. Study properly, take proper rest as well. Don't make it a habit that you study throughout the day and you don't sleep. Manage at least 7 hours of sleep or maybe 6 hours of sleep for 2 3 4 days. But when your exam arrives, when your exam date comes, make sure you take a proper sleep before going to the exam. And I'll again repeat, students, don't waste your time in other unnecessary activities like social networking or talking with friends or anything, gossiping, watching movies and all that stuff. Study whatever is relevant. Do focus on your revision portion, okay? Don't forget to revise the things what you have done so far. And with this, I'll start the class today, okay? This is the first question you have in front of you. 1 into 7 is equal to 8, 2 into 7 is equal to 16, 3 into 7 is equal to 24, so on. We have to tell what is the value of 9 into 7. Look, 1 into 7. This is given to me as 8. Next thing, 2 into 7 is 16. I think I'm finding this to be easy actually. Then 3 into 7 is equal to 24. 4 into 7 is equal to 32. I think so far most of you would have done it. Actually, what's happening is actually this part, this 7 is actually being increased by 1 and it is actually read as 8. 1 into 8, 8. 2 into 8, 16. 3 into 8, 24. 4 into 8, 32. We need to find 9 into 7. That will be read read as, how to read as 9 into 8. That will give you 72. So easily done, my dear students, okay? Let's move to next part. Yeah. Next question, dear students. Identify the statement which cannot be false. From among the following statement, we have to tell which cannot be false. See, let's read the statement. Democracy is the best form of government. Is it necessarily true that the democracy is the best form of government? We are being told which cannot be false. See, let's say we are happy with our government, we are happy with the way the government is flowing in our country, running in our country. But if we talk about China, our lives are easy as compared to China, if you know the reality of China. But once you look at the growth that the China has made, it is absolutely unparalleled. The growth that the China has made, that is absolutely unparalleled. China is actually the world leading power right now. So is it always correct to say that democracy is the best form of government? China has no democracy. Actually, there is no democracy in China. This is the fact. If it appears to be, then it is false. But the thing actually everyone knows right now is there is no democracy in China. So this might be true for someone, this might not be true for someone. So this can be false. Okay. Water evaporates at 100 degree. If you know a bit of science, dear students, at 100 degrees Celsius, what happens is first water gets converted. There is a melting point when that evaporation point, there is a change of state. Then it starts evaporating. So it directly does not evaporate at 100 degrees. So this is also not definitely true. The third thing is all radii of any given circle are of equal length. See, this is definitely true. This has to do something with mathematics. This is the center, suppose. My circle is not drawn to scale, but when it's actually a circle, so all of these will be, their length will be equal. So circle has this property now. What is the property of a circle? This is the point center. If you take all the points which are at a distance of precise r units, then you will get a circle. That is, if I join all these points, then I'll get a circle. This is the main property of existence of a circle, that all these points are equidistant from the central point called the center. So this statement is definitely true, and this is your answer. And I'm sure it must be clear to all of you. Okay, should I move to the next one? Fine, students. The next question we have is, if Monday falls on 1st of October, then which day will fall 3 days after the 20th in that month? If Monday falls on 1st October, which day will fall 3 days after the 20th in that month? I repeat again, okay? See, first of all, if it is first, it is Monday. 3 days after the 20th in that month. See, first is Monday, then after first, 8th will be Monday, after 8th it will be 15th, after 15th it will be 22. 22 will be Monday. We are being asked 3 days after the 20th in that month. This is 20th. 3 days after. 1, 2, 3. 21, 22, 23. So if 22 is Monday, then 23 will be what? 23 will be Tuesday. Easily done, all my dear students. Okay, it makes sense, and it must be, you must have understood this. Okay, let's move to the next one. The next one is, in the word graphologist, GRAPHO LOGIST. Okay, in the word graphologist, if first and seventh letter, second and ninth, third and 11th, fourth and eighth, and fifth and 12th are mutually interchanged, then which one letter will be the sixth letter from the letter of 10th letter from the left side? First of all, what are being changed? Let's look. First and seventh. Okay, first of all, let's say what we need to find. Maybe we don't even need to shuffle. Then which letter will be the sixth letter from the left of the 10th letter from the left side? First of all, 10th letter from the left side. 10th letter from the left is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Right now, this is the position which is 10th letter from the left. Okay. Then which letter will be the sixth letter from the left of? Sixth letter from the left of the 10th letter from the left side. Sixth letter from the left of 10th letter from the left side. Sixth letter from the left. Sixth letter from the left will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is, I need to figure out which is this. So this is right now fourth character. This is right now fourth character. We need to change. We need to check which letter has been changed with this fourth letter. You will get the answer. Look, fourth and eighth letter. We are changing fourth and eighth letter. This is fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So we are changing O. So here comes O. So the answer is O. That is none of the above. Getting it? I repeat again, students. See, first of all, we know P and O have been interchanged. Okay, first 7, what are interchanged? First and 7, second and 9, third and 11th, fourth and 8th, fifth and 12th. First of all, there is nothing common, like no character has been changed twice. Every character has been coming only once. Now we need to find which is the, then which letter will be the sixth letter from the left of the 10th letter from the left side. 10th letter from the left side will be this I. Now 6 to this left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to find what will come over here. P. This P, this fourth letter is being changed with the eighth letter. Fourth is being changed with eighth letter. 5, 6, 7, 8. So this O comes over here and this P comes over here. Getting it, my dear students? So here comes now O. So my answer is O, and O is like none of the above. This is your answer, my dear students. I hope you got it. Okay. So should I move ahead? Okay, dear students. So students, this is the next question. On the above part, we are given a set of four statements, and then on the basis of that, we have to answer our next questions. Okay, let me increase the size. Yeah, the yellow one is the theory part, and the blue one is the questions part. Before solving it, let me erase this. First part, Gopal is shorter than Ashok but taller than Kunal. See, if someone is taller, I'll put him at a higher level. If someone is shorter, I put him at a lower level. Gopal is shorter than Ashok. Gopal is shorter than Ashok but taller than Kunal. Gopal is taller than Kunal. Okay. Now, Naveen is shorter than Kunal. Naveen is shorter than Kunal, so I'll put Naveen even further down. Jayesh is taller than Naveen. Now, this is a very important one. Jayesh is taller than Naveen. I don't know how much taller than Naveen. So, what I'll do, I'll put it in a side, marking an arrow that this is taller than Naveen for sure, but I don't know the nature about any of this. So, I'm putting it side and right, side and upwards. Okay, Jayesh is taller. This is Jayesh. I really don't know where Jayesh will come. Okay. Next, Ashok is taller than Jayesh. Okay, I have one thing is for sure that Jayesh is lesser than Ashok. Jayesh could come anywhere in between these two lines. Okay, he could be taller than G. He could be between G and K. He could be between K and L. I don't know where Jayesh will be placed. First question. Go. Okay. Now, I made a small mistake. Let me correct it. Let me show you the question, dear students. Yeah, no mistake question I will easily get. Yeah. The question is, who among them is the tallest? This is the question. Blue one. Who among them is the tallest? So from here, I can easily figure out the top person at the top is Ashok. So Ashok is the tallest. Understood, my dear students? Let's move to the next one. Okay. Let's move to the next part. Now what we have, the next question is, which of the given information is not necessary to answer the above questions? So the next question is, which of the following given information is not necessary to answer the above questions? Look, from the first statement, I got this thing assigned. Some video problem, just bear with me for a second, dear students. I hope it will be fine now. Okay, this is the first thing. Then second thing is, second statement assigned this is also necessary. Okay, the third statement said Ashok is taller than Jayesh is taller than Naveen. Let's say I don't know this statement. Jayesh is taller than Naveen. I don't know, because I don't know how much, where is it placed in the height hierarchy. The last statement, Ashok is taller than Jayesh. When I say Ashok is taller than Jayesh, so one thing I know that Ashok is definitely at the highest point on the hierarchy of the height. So the third statement, even if I don't know, even if I don't have the third statement, then also I can definitely figure out that Ashok is the tallest. So C is the statement which is not the most necessary one. Okay, dear students, C is the statement which is not the most necessary one. So that will be my answer. The next question we have is, among P, Q, R, S and T, each having scored different marks, R scored more marks than P and T. See, first of all, again the same thing. If somebody has got more, I'll put him higher. R scored more marks than P and T. P and T will be, I don't know about their nature right now. Okay. Q scored less marks than T. So Q is definitely beneath T. Okay. R is above T. S did not score the highest marks. Okay, so that means S is also beneath R. Who among them scored the highest? So I can very easily say R scored the highest. So your answer is option number C. R scored the highest marks. Okay, dear students, let me move to the next one. Next question. Among B, F, J, K, and W, each having a different weight, F is heavier than only J. F is heavier than only J. It does means that only J will be below F. Rest all will be above F. Each having a different weight. ठीक है. F is heavier than only J. B is heavier than F and W. B is heavier than C. We are definitely that B is heavier than F is heavier than only J. B is heavier than F and W. So means W will come before B. We already know B is heavier than F. Okay. B is heavier than F and W, but not as heavy as K. So K will be at the top. Now we have got each and everything. B is not as heavy as K. Who among them is the heaviest? Is the third heaviest person? There are 5 people. Who among them is the third heaviest? The one in the middle. That is this W is the third heaviest. Okay, dear students. Let's move to the next one. A cricket ball is lighter than a hockey ball. This is a cricket ball. It will be placed below a hockey ball. Okay. A volleyball is lighter than a football. A volleyball is lighter than a football. I'm keeping them aside. When I get something, so I'll relate them. The hockey ball is lighter than football. The hockey ball is lighter than football. So one thing is clear. Football will come over here. Okay, and volleyball will be below this. I have got this much of hierarchy. I know this is below this, but I can't assign it to these things. Okay. The hockey ball is lighter than the football, but heavier than a tennis ball. The hockey ball is heavier than a tennis ball. I don't know it about cricket balls. Okay, so I'll put tennis over here. This hierarchy is for sure. This is below this. This is below this, but I don't know where it will come. Which of the following is the heaviest? But one thing is for sure, that at the top is the football. At the top is the football. Dear students, is it clear? Got it? Next question. Let's take the next question. An accused is more powerful than the deceased. Let's say this is the accused. Accused is more powerful than the deceased. Deceased means the someone who is dead. So A will come above D. Police are less powerful than the court. Okay, so police will come below court. Accused bend his heads before police. Okay, police are less powerful than the court, but more powerful than the lawyer. Okay, police is more powerful than the lawyer. Okay, so and the second statement is accused bends his head before police. So police is above accused, but I don't know the nature of lawyer. I know lawyer is placed below P, but I can't associate it with A or D. Okay, who is the most powerful? Yes, this we can ascertain. At the top of this hierarchy is the court. Okay, so court is your answer. Court is the most powerful. Try to solve it before I do. Now I think I should place the questions here. Now solve it over here. Shankar is shorter than Salim. Better way would be like this. Shankar is shorter than Salim, but taller than Simon. Shankar is shorter than Salim, but taller than Simon. It like Hindu, Muslim, Isai. There will be a Sikh also, but taller than Shankar. Okay, Shankar is shorter than Salim, but taller than Simon. Suresh is shorter than Salim. Suresh is shorter than Salim. Suresh will come over here, but taller than Shankar. So I'll easily say, I can say that Suresh comes over here. Okay. Suresh comes over here. Who is the tallest? Our fellow Salim is the tallest. This is your answer, my dear students. Okay. Amar is taller than Samir. Amar is taller than Samir. Okay. Amar is taller than Salim. Samir, I'm very sorry. Amar is taller than Samir. Prabhat is taller than Umesh, but not as taller as Samir. Okay, so easy. Prabhat is not as tall as Samir, but Prabhat is taller than Umesh. Next thing, Ashok is shorter than Umesh, so Ashok is even below. Who is the shortest? Easily we can say Ashok is the shortest. That is, none of these is your answer. Okay, my dear students. Clear to all? Okay. Prabhat is taller than Mahesh. Gopal is taller than Mahesh. Bhuvan is shorter than Mahesh. Who is the tallest? Oh, now this is a good one. Huh? Prabhat is taller than Mahesh. This is Mahesh. Prabhat will come over it. Prabhat will come somewhere over here. Gopal is taller than Prabhat is taller than Mahesh. Gopal is taller than Mahesh. Now Gopal is also taller than Mahesh. Okay. Gopal is also taller than Mahesh. See, this will be above this will be above this, but I don't know precisely where it will be. Bhuvan is shorter than Mahesh. Bhuvan is shorter than Mahesh, no problem. Let me put Bhuvan below him. Bhuvan is shorter than Mahesh. Who is the tallest? See, we know Prabhat and Gopal are taller than Mahesh and Bhuvan, but I don't know who among them is the tallest. So my answer will be either data insufficient, if there is any such option. If there is no such option as data insufficient, that I'll do. I'll mark either Prabhat or Gopal. Either Prabhat or Gopal. This is your answer, oh my dear students. I hope you are clear with it. Okay, done. Let's move to the next one. Five students appear in a scholarship exam. Sudha got more marks. Sudha got more marks than Pooja. Kavita gets less marks than Sushma, but more than Sudha. Okay. See, Sudha. I think it's still readable. Okay. Sudha. Sudha gets more marks than Pooja. Clear. Sudha gets more marks than Pooja. Kavita gets less marks than Sushma, but more marks than Sudha. Kavita gets more marks than Sudha. Kavita gets less marks than Sushma. Okay. Kavita gets less marks than Sushma, but more marks than Sudha. Mamta's marks is between Pooja and Sudha. Pooja and Sudha. Here is Mamta. Okay. Who gets the minimum marks? Who gets the minimum marks? Pooja. Pooja got the minimum marks, and I hope it's clear to all of you. Okay. Next one. The next one we have, dear students, is five students appeared in an examination and each got individual marks. Nidhi got more marks than Mamta. Nidhi got more marks than Mamta. It means Nidhi will be placed above Mamta. Kavita got less than Prashant. Kavita got less than Prashant but more than Nidhi. So, Kavita got less than Prashant but Kavita got more than Nidhi. Anita's marks were between Mamta and Nidhi. Anita was between Mamta and Nidhi. Okay. Which pair got maximum and minimum? Maximum was Prashant. Minimum was Mamta. Prashant and Mamta. Option D is your answer. Okay, my dear students. This part is easy and we are able to solve it easily. Renu is taller than Veena but less tall to Aditi. Renu is taller than Veena but less tall to Aditi. Aditi is above Renu. Anu is less tall to Veena but taller than Meena. Anu is less tall to Veena but taller than Meenu. Ekta is taller than Renu. Okay. I don't know the comparison between these two. Who is the shortest in all? Shortest in all is definitely Meenu, Meena, whatever it is. In some time it's actually Meenu, but maybe some typing mistake in the actual question. So this is your answer. Option number B. Let me show you the next question. Just a sec. Yeah. Let me show you the next question. And this is the next question. Among them, who is the tallest? Either Aditi or Ekta? Yes. Either Ekta or no. Ekta, Aditi, no. Answer is either Aditi or Ekta. This is the answer. Okay, dear students. Let's move to the next part. There are 5 steel boxes A, B, C, D and E. E is heavier than only A. If this is E, so E is heavier than only A. C is heavier than A, obviously, and E. C is heavier than A and E, obviously, we know that, but lighter than B. C will come over here, B will come over here. C is heavier than A and E, but lighter than B. Who is not the heaviest? So B is not the heaviest, that means D is the heaviest. Okay. Which of the following is the heaviest? D is the heaviest. See, students, this is the main line. C is heavier than A and B but lighter than B. Who is not heaviest? That means B is not the heaviest. So if B is not the heaviest, out of these A, B, C, D, E, out of this 4 have been consumed over here. The only one remaining is D and D will be at the top. So clear, dear students? Let's move to the next one. Let me rub this part first. Now we have is statement assumptions. Okay. In making directions about important questions, it is desirable to be able to distinguish between strong arguments and weak arguments. Strong arguments are those which are both important and directly related to the questions. Weak arguments are those which are of minor importance and also may not be directly related to the question or may be related to a trivial aspect of the question. Each question below is followed by two arguments numbered 1 and 2. You have to decide which of the argument is a strong argument and which is a weak argument. Give answers. See, if only one, I'll mark one if only one argument is strong. If only argument 2 is strong. Third, if either 1 and 2 is strong. If neither 1 and 2 is strong. And fifth, if both 1 and 2 are strong. Okay, this is like this. So the first question we have is should there be only one medium of instruction in all the colleges? The question being asked is in all the colleges in India. The question being asked is should there be only one medium of instruction? That is, either we deal only in Hindi or we deal only in English. First, yes, in many countries there is only one medium of instruction in all the colleges. See, what other people do should not be, can never be the way we will do at our home. Okay, if I am a Hindu and let's say my friend is a Christian, he goes to a church. Should I be going to church because he goes to church? So that is not a valid argument. That is not a very valid assumption. So for me, this is not the answer. Okay. Second, no, this is not practicable in a multilingual country like India. Now this is very fine, very correct. Okay. Why? See, we do getting it now. This is not practical in India. Why? Because India is a multilingual country. Suppose right now I'm studying in Maharashtra. If I say it should be only one language, let's say Marathi, and if some South Indian comes to Maharashtra, if some Punjabi comes to Maharashtra, will he be able to study? No. So in India, one language cannot be said because of this statement. Because no, this is not practical in a multilingual country like India. So our answer is option number two. If only argument two is strong. So your answer is option number two, my dear students. I hope it is clear. Now I've explained you the first question. What I'll do is right now is I'll remove this top part. I'll place it over here, increasing its size so that okay, dear students. Now the thing is, yeah, this way. I can increase the question size also. Statement. Should all the surrogate advertisements released by companies manufacturing tobacco products be banned? First of all, let me tell you what is surrogate advertisement. Surrogate advertisement is suppose I need to promote a brand of a whiskey. Okay, any alcohol. Okay, so what is the surrogate advertisement, dear friends? Surrogate advertisement is like the advertisement which is done on the same name but of a different product. The same name on but that of a different product. Like I know that McDowell's is a whiskey. Okay, I know, but McDowell's is a whiskey. But what happens is I can't directly promote McDowell's. I can't direct because it's alcohol. So what I'll do, I'll promote the same name McDowell's. I'll promote the same name McDowell's by the name of McDowell's music CDs. By the name of McDowell's music CDs. Seagram, Royal Blue, Men Will Be Men ad are there. Okay, they promote whiskey. They promote the name Seagram, but by a different product. Carlsberg, we know is a beer, but Carlsberg is being promoted. The advertisement which shows a Carlsberg, it's showed as water, Carlsberg water. Okay, so that is the thing. This is the concept of surrogate advertisement. That is promoting a particular product which is not being allowed to shown, which is not being allowed to directly promoted by the same name, but are promoting its different product. That is only showing this name. That is the concept of surrogate advertisement. Okay, you got it. Now let's come to the question. What is the question, dear students? Should all the surrogate advertisement released by companies manufacturing tobacco products be banned? This is the only way to prevent the use of tobacco by people. Is this a valid argument? Okay. The the precise answer should have been the government should stop the production of these things. No sales should be allowed. Okay, so first is a weak argument. I don't like it. Definitely, it's a weak argument. This cannot be. See, let's say the product is not available in the shops. So how many advertisement how many advertisements you show on TV, but if the product is not on available on the shops, it won't be sold. Okay, so this is a weak argument. This is the only way to prevent use of tobacco is absolutely wrong. The only way to prevent use of tobacco could be stop manufacturing, stop selling. This is the best way. Okay, another okay now. So first is weak. No, these companies spend a lot of money for preparing these advertisements, and hence they should not be banned. Is it valid? They are spending a lot of money. If I getting it, this is absolutely weird. They are spending money on making ad that way, so they should be allowed. This is no way. Like if I this you understand now? No, these companies spend a lot of money for preparing the advertisement, and they should not be banned. You just ban the advertisement, they won't be spending money. Getting it, my point. A good point, a reasonably good point could be, no, let them promote. They give a lot of money. That could have been better. They spend money on making the ads is absolutely rubbish. So this is also not good. So my answer is neither one nor two is strong. Got it, my dear students? Clear? Okay. What difference does it make even if they make the ad expensive, if they make the ad less expensive, the difference, it does not matter na, for curbing the smoke tobacco. So this is absolutely wrong. Like Ajay Devgan promotes Vimal by the name of Kesari. He is actually promoting Kesari Gutka by the name of Vimal Gutka by the name of Vimal Kesar. Getting it? So that is surrogate advertisement. Should the admission to professional courses in India be given only on merit without any concession? That is, let's say, removing quota basis, okay? Removing quota seats. First statement, yes, this will improve the quality of the professional as they will be able to complete the course successfully. I really don't understand. How will a person be able to complete the course? See, completing a course is entirely different. Inducting into a course is different. Okay, let's say, let's just suppose I want to deny this quota rule. What I say, these are 100% seats. These are 100% seats. If I want only those people who crack the exam should come into this without any quota, who get the maximum marks, then what will happen? Only the topper, I'll be able to get toppers over here. Okay, if I remove quota. But by adding quota, what happens is by adding quota, some people out of here cannot come, but some people from other quota who have not scored comes. Okay, this is the word. This is what quota does. But the argument given is they will be able to complete the course. See, completing the course is not at all related with quota. Na? Quota only denies the chance to, let's say, the remaining 2% or 3% who could get in had these people not been getting there. If I get in, completing the course is nothing related to quota. So this is absolutely weird. Okay. Second, no, this will keep large number of socially and economically backward students out of the reach of the professional courses. Exactly. See, if I allow these students to get in, otherwise they might not have been got it. Otherwise they might not have been got inducted into this course. So this appears to be a valid argument. No, this will keep large number of socially and economically backward students out of the reach of the professional courses. Yes, they won't be able to get inside this. This is actually the reason why quota system is going. This is the actual reason behind why the quota system is running in India. This is the only reason. So second statement is true. Only second statement is the strong. This is your answer, my dear students. Okay. Let's look at the next question. Should the in charge of all the police stations in the country be transferred every 2 years? First, no, this will create lot of administrative hassles and will also create lot of inconvenience to the police officers. Students, in actual government job, this is definitely a thing. Like I being an income tax officer, what happens is if every year we change our charges now, then the speed of work gets reduced. it gets hampered, because right now for the 2 years, suppose I've been dealing with one part of my income tax department assessment, let's say. Then if I have to change it, see, first 2 years I have developed my core competency on that, I have developed my expertise on that. Now if I'm being transferred to that, I will have to learn another thing. The speed will get slow. Okay. Secondly, the work whatever I was doing, I know where I have arranged it. Suppose another person comes to my seat, he will have to look for everything. So some of the efforts which I made would not be fully utilized. So this is actually a reason. This is true. Okay. Second, yes, this is the only way to eradicate the nexus between police officers and anti-social elements. See, this statement, when the line comes only, so it is not true. If it has been, yes, this is one of the ways to eradicate the nexus between police officers and anti-social elements, this could have been true. This is one of the ways. See, in actually our departments, we are being changed because this is the only reason. In every 2 years, we are changed because this is the reason that we don't get in a comply in a nexus with the taxpayers. Okay, had it been had the statement been yes, this is the way, this is our way to eradicate, then this could have been correct. But when it is said this is the only way to eradicate, then this is not at all true. Why this is not the only way to eradicate? Reason behind this is, you just check each and every government official every month, how much has his wealth increased, how much his spending has increased. You pay stringent punishment to the government officials who are dealing in corruption. That could have been a better way to curb corruption. Okay, so that could have been a better way to curb corruption. That could have been a better way to curb the policemen taking corruption to play in the hands of the thieves and thugs and all that, lords, mafia. So this statement is not correct, but the first one is definitely correct. Yes, this creates a lot of hassle. Okay, so only argument one is strong and argument two is not strong. That is, from my point of view, my answer, and that is definitely the correct one. Let's take one more. Yeah, the next one is, should the parents in India in future be forced to opt for only one child as against two or many at present? That is, Indian parents should be allowed for only one child rather than two or many child. That is actually happening in India. Right now we can have two, three more. Although government is trying to not giving any subsidies or something, any waivers or any provisions for the third child and so on. But till that first two, the government is also trying to control the population by allowing only two. Now let's see the argument. Yes, this is the only way to check the ever increasing population of India. Exactly, this is, I can say, this is the most important way to create the ever increasing population of India. Yes, this is actually the only way. See, there could be two, three ways, let's say, to kill people, to kill the old age people, but that is absolutely weird. Okay, you can't kill someone. But if you kill the people, out of people, definitely the population will reduce. But that is not at all a genuine way. So, only feasible way is to not allow people to produce more childs. Okay, so this is the correct. No, this type of pressure tactic is not adopted by any other country in the world. First of all, we can't take any decision because somebody else is doing this or somebody else is not doing this. So this statement is absolutely weird. Secondly, the China is a country which adopted one child policy. You people will be really amazed to know how China adopted this one child policy. The moment a lady goes to a genetics, goes to a, what do we say, goes for a delivery, her vaginal part were, some contraceptives were inserted so that they may not have the, they were forcefully done some surgery so that they cannot deliver the second child. Okay, so China has forcefully done this. So, but let's leave that part. And China, when forcefully done this, China could contain a better population. So this was also one of the way of controlling the population, by forcefully doing this. So China was doing this, but the statement that no country else is doing, that is absolutely false. This is totally denied. Second, the first argument is true. Yes, or only argument one is strong. That is our answer. I hope you have got it, dear students. Okay. Next question. If it is true that all humans are imperfect, then which one of the following is necessary to? The first statement is no humans are imperfect. See, it is saying whosoever is human is imperfect. See, is imperfect. Okay. If it is a human, then it is imperfect. Okay. Or I can say this is human, this is perfect. If this is a human, so this is not perfect. This is the thing. If this is a human, then it won't be perfect. Okay, first, no humans are imperfect. See, we already know humans are imperfect. Or let me write it imperfect. Okay, if someone is human, then he will be imperfect. The first thing is no humans are imperfect. This is absolutely wrong. Some humans are not imperfect. We are already told that all the humans are imperfect. Then why it is being said some humans are imperfect? This is wrong. All imperfect beings are humans. See, this is not correct. All imperfect beings are not humans only. Are animals perfect? No, animals are not perfect. They have many other flaws. Okay, so this is also wrong. The last statement, every human is imperfect. This is exactly what was told to us. Every human is imperfect. So this is your answer. Every human is imperfect. Should I move to the next one? I hope it is easy, and this must be clear to all of you. Okay, so let's move to the next set. If it is false that animals are seldom aggressive. Okay, this statement is, if it is false that animals are seldom aggressive, then which one of the following statement conveys the same meaning? See, first of all, let me tell you the meaning of the word seldom and how it is used. See, seldom actually means sometimes, very rare. Seldom actually means very rare. But if you see the usage of seldom in proverbs, okay, usage of seldom in proverbs, then what will you observe? You will observe that seldom is used as never. Seldom is used as, actually it is used as never. Okay, like a dog has nothing but is seldom unsatisfied. Okay, although the dog has nothing but still the dog is never unsatisfied. Okay, this is the meaning of seldom. So seldom is used as never. Now let's look at the animals are seldom aggressive. What does this line mean? This line means animals are not aggressive. This line means animals are not aggressive, or no animal is aggressive. This is one thing. And how will I deny this? How will I deny this, dear student? See, this is given to us as, if this is false, we are given that the above statement is false. So what will be the true statement? Opposite of it will be, see, if no any like animals are not aggressive, or I can say no animal is aggressive. No animal is aggressive. Dear student, this you got. No animal is aggressive. Now, if it is, if no animal is aggressive, so what will be the how will I this is a false statement. So true statement will be, at least one animal is aggressive. At least one animal is okay, students. Students, in mathematics and in reasoning, what do we have? If we are provided with none, okay, no animal means none animal, no animal. If I need to refute it, if I say this is false, something else is true, so what I'm saying is I'm refuting it. Okay, so refute of none will be at least one. Opposite, I tell again, if sometimes says none or never, opposite of this, refute or opposite of this will be what? At least once. Okay, dear friends, its opposite will be at least once. I hope this is clear to all of you. So my dear students, let me move to the next example now. We have got exactly similar example. If it is false that men always pray to God, okay, it actually means, see, men always pray to God. If it is false, okay, then if this is false, okay, then what will be true? The true will be men always pray to God. That the opposite will be men don't pray to God. Okay, men don't pray to God, or men never pray to God. Men never pray to God. Men never pray to God. This is done. Now, my dear students, how will I write it? If this was false, this is true. I'll write it as men seldom pray to God. Okay, seldom is used in this manner only. Men seldom pray to God. Students, you know the difference between these two words, pray and pray. Okay, pray means to, like, folding your hands, remembering God, or praying someone, requesting someone. This pray is like a tiger hunts its prey. Prey in Hindi is called shikar, if you know. Okay, and in English, someone prey is someone who is being hunted. Someone being hunted. That is, hunted is hunted. Someone being hunted. Next one now. Let's see the next one. Uh, you have the next question in front of you, and it's an easy one. It's actually not that tough. You all can easily do it. Huh? Snow, identify the statement which cannot be true. Snow is white. Is, can we say that, I'm sorry, snow is white? Snow is white. So this is actually true. Snow is generally true. Snow is generally white, so it is true. All bachelors are faithful to their wives. Now there is an ambiguity in the statement. It is not actually possible. Why? If I am a bachelor, if I become Salman Khan again, okay. If I'm a bachelor, what does it means? It means I don't have wife. Okay. If I don't have wife, then how can I be faithful to someone who's not there? Okay. All bachelors are faithful to their wife, so this statement can never be true. So this is the correct answer. Getting it, my dear students? So this is the one which cannot be true. This is your answer. Now next we have is, from among the given options, identify the statement which means the same as the statement. The dual nature of light is an enigma. The dual nature of light is a enigma. See students, what is precisely enigma means? Actually a puzzle. Enigma means actually a puzzle. So dual nature of light. See, it's like sometime it is like I say this is up, and some the other side sometime it is down. So this is contradictory, or like that sort of puzzling, mysterious. So enigma means puzzle or mysterious. Light has distinct properties which make it unique. No, this is nothing to do with it. From the given options, identify the statement which means the same as the statement. Next, two contradictory description of light presuppose a third description. This nothing like said. This is absolutely vague. Huh? There's nothing like this. Next is the nature of light is an enigma. Exactly, this is what is being said. Dual nature of light is enigma. See, dual is a property of the nature. Okay, if I say dual nature of light is enigma, dual nature of light is enigma, it is because of this dual that this nature of light is enigma. So when I say nature of light is enigma, so it is absolutely correct. Okay, it is absolutely correct. See, suppose I say let's say Ram has only one son. Light has only one nature, that is dual. Okay, Ram has only one son, so I say Ram's son is Ram's son is healthy. That is a statement. Ram's son is healthy. Now, if I say Ram's son Ramu, if the name of son of Ram is Ramu, so that way Ram's son Ramu is healthy. So exactly like dual is the name of the nature of light. Okay, so nature of light is enigma, or the dual nature of the light is enigma. That is the same thing. Dual is the property of the nature of light. Dual is the property of this nature. Okay, so the statement number 3, the nature of light is enigma, is absolutely correct. Let's move to the next one. You have the next question in front of you. Read it, dear students. It's actually easy one. Assume both premises. Assume both premises, that both premises are true. Okay, what are the two premises? No innocent person should be punished and Socrates is innocent. Let's say both of these are true. First of all is no innocent person should be punished. This is the first premise. Okay, this is the first premise. No innocent person should be punished. What does it mean? It means innocent person should not be punished. Innocent person should not be punished. Now, what is the second line? Socrates is innocent. Socrates is innocent. So, what I will do, instead of innocent person, I will write Socrates. Okay, so my line becomes Socrates. See how easy it becomes. Should not be punished. This is your answer. Do we have any such option? Socrates should not be punished. Option 4 is your answer. Okay, dear students, I hope it is clear to all of you. Easy one. Okay, let's move to the next one. This is the next question, and this easy one. If you know a bit of vocabulary in English, then you can easily solve this. See, what does spinster means? Only the one thing which could trouble you is the meaning of the word spinster. What does the word spinster means? Spinster means an unmarried lady. Spinster means an unmarried lady. Okay, this is the meaning of the word spinster. Now, let's look at the questions. All equal. See, what is the question? The identify the argument which cannot be accepted. Which cannot be accepted? Matlab, which must not be true. Okay. First of all equilateral triangles are equiangular. Therefore, equiangular triangles are equilateral. See, let's look at the first statement. This is very easy actually. I know the property of a triangle. The property of a triangle is that all its angles add up to 180 degree. All its angles add up to 180 degree. Equilateral triangle has all angles 60 degree. Okay. All angles 60 degree. You know this part? Yes, you know all of this. Okay. Now, if all the angles are 60 degree, the triangle is equilateral. That can also be said reverse way. See, if the triangle is equilateral, all angles are equiangular. All the angles are equal. If all the angles are equal, then the triangle is equilateral. This is true. This is correct. We know this thing. Okay. All rainy days are wet days. Therefore, all wet days are rainy days. Okay. See, this is a bit ambiguous. It might not be always true, but let's look at all the possible statement. All unmarried women are spinster. Therefore, all spinsters are women. See, just a sec, please. Yeah. So I was all unmarried women are spinsters. Therefore, all spinsters are women. See, I told you the meaning of the word spinster means unmarried woman. Okay. First, all unmarried women are spinsters. Obviously, if a woman is unmarried, the terminology, the name for her is spinster. Now, therefore, all spinsters are women. Spinster is associated with a lady, so spinster is definitely a woman. This is also correct. Okay, this statement: all rainy days are wet. Therefore, all wet days are rainy days. See, this might not, it might appear to you not to be very true, but at least it appears to be true in many cases. All rainy days are wet days. Yes, if it is a rainy day, then it is wet. Then it is wet. But all wet days are rainy days. See, definitely, if a day is wet, we can assume that it is a rainy day. Okay, but it might be wet because of some other reason also. But let's look at the other thing. All wives are married. Therefore, all married people are wives. Okay, my wife is definitely married to me. Okay, the statement: my wife is married to me. My wife is married to me. Now I am married. Can I become a woman? I am also married. Now can I become a woman? No. So this statement for sure is wrong. Okay. This statement can never be accepted. This statement can never be accepted. So this is your answer, my dear students. Okay. Easy one actually. So students, actually I feel that we have done enough number of questions on this particular topic. The topic that is all the things which we have discussed today. This is puzzles and this what we call assumption and arguments. So I think we should take the leave for today and we'll meet again tomorrow for the next class tomorrow night. Till that time, whatever I have taught you, kindly revise. You also revise your other subjects and study very well, prepare hard so that you crack your exams with flying colors in your very first attempt. All the very best, my dear students. Good night, bye bye. All the very best. Study hard. Take care. Bye bye.